This year's Sinquefield Cup is the strongest chess tournament ever. We have the highest average rating in history, with 6 of the top 10 players in the world participating. And that includes world number 1, Magnus Carlsen, also the defending champion from last year's Sinquefield Cup. The very best in chess competing today at the St. Louis Chess Club for the 2014 Sinquefield Cup. And our complete coverage from first move to winning move starts right now.
Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Another game from round 7 of the second annual Sinquefield Cup, the highest average rated tournament in the history of chess. And I'm proud to say it's right here in the United States, in the heartland of St. Louis, Missouri, at the Chess Club and Scholastic Center there. This is a game between current world champion Magnus Carlsen from Norway as white, and my buddy, the pride of U.S. chess, Hikaru Nakamura, as black. It's going to be a Slav defense. Carlsen's white, Nakamura's black, so let's get to it. E3. You see this a lot. The B5, try to save the pawn move. You really can't, but it does lead to an interesting position. Knight to E4, queen to D5, knight to D2, pawn, bishop takes, knight B1. Now that's an interesting position, to say the least. Can't save the pawn, of course, but queen to A5, queen to C2, stopping the advance with check. The one thing this does is there's no development at all. I mean, look at this. None of the minor pieces are developed at all. Because the knight ended up going back to B1. So, but these guys all know this. This is all theory. E5 for Hikaru. Knight to F3, hitting the knight. Knight to A6. Knight takes. Finally gets the pawn back. Not as advisable, I don't think, as knight takes. It's after bishop F5, E4, knight to B4, and this is messy, to say the least. Knight takes C5. Knight to B4, hitting the queen. Queen goes to B3. Queen takes really doesn't lead to much. It was after knight. Check. King to D2. Bishop B4, and that's it. White loses, of course. Knight to E6, excuse me, bishop E6, bishop C4. Now this is a move that shows the second choice of the computer. Right now, the computer's about, white's ahead about almost 2 pawns. So something went wrong for Hikaru in the opening here. And bishop takes C4, and then knight takes is the choices for, or the best choice for black. Hikaru decided to go C2. Not good. If bishop had taken C4, knight takes queen F5. Not the greatest in the world for black, but I think it's better than the way he went. You know, Hikaru's my buddy, but I'm going to call him like I see him. Bishop takes. Knight to D3, check. Man, this is tough. What to do here? King moves. Knight takes C5. D takes C5. F takes. Queen takes. Now, right now white's up a pawn, but it's an over 2-point advantage for Hikaru. And not good at all. I don't know how he's going to save this. I feel bad because he's had a really bad tournament. Well, they almost all have, but The Carl, for some reason, the wheels just come off, and these things happen. Knight d7, knight to d2, finally the knight comes back. Queen to d5, queen takes, knight takes. Now Carl's down a pawn. He's got a pawn and 3/4 ahead on the score, but this isn't really what Carl was looking for, I don't think. I mean, he's got isolated pawns all over the place. Here, here, here. They're about the same in development of pieces, but that knight's in a really strong square on d5. But that's about it for black. I don't think it's as bad as the score indicates. Knight d4. Rook. Threatening, of course. Rook to b8. He's got to move the bishop in order to do that, so that way both rooks cover the square in case the king or the rook comes down. Bishop b4. It looks really scary for white, but actually it's not. Carlsen goes rook, h to c1, stopping all the nonsense with the queening. Bishop takes, knight takes. King had taken. It's worth looking at. The knight there. I don't like that as much. I think knight takes was the better move. Now, if you notice, this is a problem. He's down a pawn. Black's going to lose this pawn. And you're going to have a 2, 3, 4, 5 against 2 over here. That's going to be a Carl's problem. Knight to b4, guarding the pawn. Knight to f3. King to e7. There's no point in castling now and getting your king way over here. The king would have ended up here, and then you got to bring him all the way back later for the endgame. Keep him right in the center of the board. Your rook's still free. Especially with queens off the board. There's no point in castling at this point. Knight to e1. Hitting the pawn again. Rook. f4. Staking his claim to the center. It's a really strong pawn center here. c5. At this point, Magnus might as well be 2 pawns up with those double pawns, and they're isolated both. Knight finally takes. Knight to d3. Rook goes to b1. Knight to b2. Rook a2. Takes the pawn. Of course, takes the rook. Obviously, if rook had taken, rook takes a7, check, king e6. Actually, might have worked out a little better. It's still useless, but it's a little easier to play. Rook takes b8, knight checks, king, knight takes, rook to b5. We're back at white being up a pawn again. And this is just brutal for poor Carl. He's just, that opening choice wasn't the greatest. He goes knight to b4, knight takes, and now rook takes. And here you are, 2 full pawns down. You've got 5 against 2 on one side, and he's got the passer on the other. But Carl's a really good rook and pawn ending player, but he's not this good, I'm afraid. We'll go through the rest of the game. a5, rook blocks, king, and here come the pawns. Just a matter of time. f5, h6, h4, king, e6 check. King comes up. Rook to d4, rook e7, rook checks, king f8. This is just brutal to watch. e7 check. It's just a matter of technique now. Rook to d8 check. What he's trying to do is get rid of the rook. King takes. King to d5. There's no way a Carl can stop this. Black can't queen. King to c4. H takes. H takes. King to d6. e4. King. King b4. And that's the end. Poor Carl was just down too many pawns. To give you an idea, king takes, pawn goes here, and white queens. Tough break for Carl. Something went wrong in the opening. I don't know if he had a wrong move order in his preparation or whatever it was. But anyway, this is a pretty dismal tournament for Carl. He'll bounce back, though. He shows some really, really good chess when he won Vikings A 2 years ago. And I have no doubt that he can do it again. It's just tough for him. It's in his hometown. He lives in St. Louis. It's basically the home field advantage, and he's just not having a very good tournament. Well, a lot of others aren't doing so well either, so even Carlsen's doing fair at best, and lousy for him. Anyway, folks, that's another game from round 7. I hope you enjoyed it. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.